All right, so we just got our front diff back from being re-geared. It's time to throw this thing back into the Tacoma. And then once this thing is in, we can start putting long travel arms on, shocks on, bypasses, start pretty much buttoning up the front. So let's get this thing in there. Come time to work with our control arms here. This is the 4-inch over kit. There are a couple things that we have to do before we put these things on. Those things being, we do have to cycle the suspension because we are going to be running a hydraulic bump stop in the front. So we want to make sure that we cycle the coilover and the bypass together with the control arms in their configuration. It does get pretty tight. So we are going to start by taking the shocks apart. We're just going to take the coil springs off these things. That way we can cycle the suspension. We'll hang the lower control arm, upper control arm. We'll throw the CV axles in, and then we'll throw the spindle on as well. So let's get started with that. So we're getting ready to install our 934 CV axles here. We made this little tool here to install them. All it is just a nut welded to a piece of tube and then a hammer face so we can strike it with a hammer. If you don't have this, obviously I'm not expecting you to. You can just use the nut and then just bottom it out like so. Purpose of this, obviously we don't want to damage these threads. That would not be a good thing. So we're going to get to installing this thing. I'm going to use our tool. As you can see, I've hung a bungee cord preemptively. Just going to slide the axle in, hold it square. It's about as flat as you can. And that's it, right there. Unthread this guy. And then we don't want to let these axles hang, so that's why I have the bungee cord here. This will just hold it up as we go along in our install here. So, right on. We are going to be running our spacing all the way forward on our kit for this one. Jesse had mentioned this earlier in the video that you do need to install our shock mount as well as a 2-inch longer end onto your shock. That's just going to help clear the tie rod. It's going to prevent it from hitting it. The great advantage of putting your control arms all the way forward is no cab chop mounts. It does help clear the inner fender wells and then also the core support as well. So we're going to go ahead and get these things installed.
So Noah's working on that side. I'm going to start working on this side. I just shaved this little side of the coil bucket down for these plates to fit in there for our bump stops. We're going to get the arms put on and start cycling it. Unfortunately, we have to put the arms on and cycle it a bunch to get the bump stops to fit. Everything's pretty tight in here with the bypass and the coil over. So let's get that going. So we got the arms on, spindles on. The arms, like I said, are pushed all the way forward. Got the shocks on. We're gonna bump it all the way out, mount the bump stops and start cycling it, make sure everything clears and there's no contact anywhere. This truck's pretty much a wrap. We got the wheels on, it's sitting on the ground, rear's all done, front long travel's all installed. Well, we're super stoked to be able to do this build. We got every part that we sell for Tacomas on this one. We're gonna take it up and get it aligned and send it on its way.